Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Erwin Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Hank, or Henrik86, Jeranism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Matt, Nagara, Naibai, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally Ballis, Silver Umbrella, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth Sun Moon and Zodiac Clock App, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker and Tom Herkins. So a massive shout out to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we are joined by both Discord and G+, and there's a few people in there rating to keep you amused as I set up for the first live show.
Yeah.
Does it take time for the cells to reorganize and find where they're supposed to be? And this is part of it that it takes a little time.
Yeah. It's a 3 weeks, a 3 week treatment where you have to just basically not overdose, but you have to drip it into his system regularly, and you got to up the dosage each time so that he's going to get more monged out as this goes on towards the second week. But then by the third week, he'll be regulating towards knowing how it works. Oh shit! Yeah. I'll be back in a second.
Good morning.
Hey, Chocolate. Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning.
I think I've got everything working. We live in hope.
Yeah.
You sound nice.
Test it or what? Hey, Dion, we could hear you. You want to test it, Nathan, anyway?
What test what? I think everything's working. I'm happy.
Oh, okay. I mean, can you, your intro's not at fast speed anymore?
I don't think so. That wasn't actually the issue. So what the issue was when I was pressing the button for the intro, it just wouldn't work, and I'd reconnect the link to the video over and over again, and it just wouldn't work. So what I ended up doing in the end was changing the Ballbusters intro button in OBS to link to the debate intro, and that worked. So I don't know what was causing the issue, but whatever the link I'd set up for the ad had just stopped working and wouldn't be replaced or fixed. But when I, like I say, put the file attachment to the Ballbusters intro, it worked and just played out as it would for Ballbusters, which I speed up. So that's why it was sped up, because it was, like I say, a reuse of an old button for a different intro. But there we go. So I've slowed it back down now. It should be normal.
Cool.
Can't wait for the new intro.
Wait.
Hey, Dion, go on mute. Go ahead, Chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's talking. Maybe it was Anthony.
Nah, it's when I unmute. I got people, co-workers talking behind me. That's what it is.
When I cook it,
Got it.
I'm on mute.
What were you going to say, Chocolate?
No, that's what I was like. Can't wait for the new intro. Ballbusters.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. For some reason, my iPad won't play it.
Yeah, iPad will play it. What the fuck?
Well, he sent me a download, and I hit the button and it downloaded the video. You know, that little circle that fills up with the blue. And once it says okay, ready to play, I played it, and it says just a blank screen saying data, but no, nothing else.
Nathan.
Yes.
Did you heard on Karen B stream there was
Yeah, we didn't hear a word of that. He broke up when the most crucial
Yeah,
moment.
he broke up, brother.
He's trying to tell you that the post he put in Master B where Dearth was being interviewed, someone called in on the show and did your refraction slightly looming line.
Yeah, Death did tell me in a live stream. I was in Red Pill Philosophy's live stream, and he did happen to mention it to me. He said he's going to trim it out and publish it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
on Master B.
I dropped out for a bit and I couldn't hear anything. Just joined back.
It's on Master B at the 39th minute of
Yeah,
what he sent already.
Yeah, it was nice to hear some random person call in and say they're talking about a slightly looming non-stand refraction, holographic projection of something. It was nice. I was like, look at that.
I loved it.
Hey,
I'm a
Tom,
lawyer. I read.
Okay.
I've just clicked the last link, and it was something about copper, as opposed to something what I was expecting.
It should be at the 39th minute, and the caller calls in and says it.
So with the changes coming to YouTube, are most of our channels doomed?
No,
Huh?
most of our channels are unaffected. I've done shitloads of research into this, if you want to know. If you want to know the score? No, it won't affect us. It'll affect people who are making videos about things like Lego, for example. So, basically, if your content is specifically for children, then you need to mark it as specifically for children. And what happens when you mark it as specifically for children is it will prevent YouTube's algorithm, which is why they've been fined, from gathering up data. So let's say you've got a 7-year-old that's using mommy and daddy's computer to watch YouTube. What YouTube were doing is gathering up the data and then target specific advertising to under 13s, which is not allowed under copper. So this is an old law. It's not like it's a new law, but they're in violation because they've been gathering data and then advertising to children. As a result, they've agreed with the FTC in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've agreed with the FTC that they'll essentially put the onus onto the producer of material. That would be us. So we have to designate specifically if our videos are designed for children. So the people who are buggered are, as I say, people who make videos about Lego. So I watched a video from one guy just to get some reactions from people who actually are affected, who makes videos about Lego crashes. So he's got Lego on a railway line and he'll crash it into a different Lego truck or whatever. That's his videos. That's his business model for his YouTube channel. More power to you, until you realise that most of his viewers are children. So he can't have viewer interaction, he can't have comments, he can't have target specific advertising, so his revenue for that video or those videos would be down by 70-80%, unless he, decides to ignore the legislation and say, no, this isn't for children, this is fine for everyone. Then obviously it's allowed comments and target advertising. But if Copper come along and say, no, or the FTC I should say, decides that no, you're in violation of Copper, then they can fine you $43,000+ per video that's in violation. So it's crucial that if... Go on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
King of Kings.
So in other words, I've just taken down anything that I had. So up until now, if I go out with the family, I like making videos. I'm a videographer, so I'll stream whatever I'm doing with the kid or the kids. So for example, Paw Patrol. I'll go out and film Paw Patrol coming on stage and shaking my kid's hand. Very fun. Just nice family stuff for whoever who's watching me as a YouTuber, to satisfy them. Now, that's specifically going to get searched for by kids, Paw Patrol, right? So that Paw Patrol video would have to be designated as specifically for children. The comments removed, the notification bell removed, and the target-specific advertising removed. Now, if I chose not to, and just said, nah, it's all right, it's for adults, and then the FTC came along, I could be found in violation and fined up to $43,000 for that one video, or however many videos I've got that have got children's content incorrectly or not designated as such.
Okay, that makes sense, because my friend Artez got affected by it, and it was his Muppet videos. He makes a lot of parody Muppet videos, and he had to take his Muppet videos down. That's weird. And it makes sense now.
Basically, if you have 20 videos like that, if you don't act, you're a millionaire in debt.
The bottom line is, for anybody watching this that wants to know, how does this affect me? It affects you if you've got any content that could potentially be deemed as targeted towards children. The problem comes if you don't specifically designate that video as such. So if you say, for instance, the Lego guy, nah, my Lego crashes aren't for children. Oh really? Says you, Mr. Lego Man. Well, yeah, they are for kids. It's toys. Kids are going to be looking at it. Therefore, you, as the individual YouTuber, must specify that your material's for kids. And if you don't, you might get in trouble. You might not. You know, you might get away with it. But getting away with it is essentially you being in violation and just not being found out.
What about the RC model people who are adults that have the remote control cars and things, and they have those huge channels? And of course, adults are doing that as well as children. Is there going to be a fine line there?
If a child could potentially be searching for your video, so you say, well, RC models. If 11-year-olds search for RC models, even if the channel's called RC Models for Adults, that would still be in violation, absolutely. Because if a kid can come across it, so a kid searches for model airfix or whatever, and comes across your video where you're detailing the intricate history of airfix models with pictures of them, if a kid comes across it and it's got comments and a subscribe and a bell notification icon button, then you could potentially be in trouble, regardless of how you want to designate it. So saying, oh, I think it's for adults, that doesn't matter. That's very unfortunate. If kids can come across it or have searched for it or are in your audience, you've got kids' content.
So if you, so it doesn't matter if it crosses over on the subject that kids and adults are both interested. As long as kids are involved, it still violates it.
Yeah, as of January.
Okay.
This is going to affect all the video game channels.
Yes, absolutely correct. So if you're making videos, Legos is the best example, because there's got loads of great examples of how you could give an example to what 10th Man's just said. So if you're making Stranger Things Lego, I don't really know what Stranger Things was until I looked into this, but now I do. It's just a TV show that's horror based, and Lego make models about it. So is a Stranger Things model video going to be for kids? Yeah, it is. It's Lego. Doesn't matter that Stranger Things is an adult TV show. Lego's a kid's toy. Kids will look for that video. Therefore, it's a kid's video.
When you said in that sentence, notifications, subscriber, comments, if someone, again, I'm not familiar with YouTube from the monetization part, if someone decides to do RC models or Legos, but turns off notifications and doesn't allow comments, but obviously someone wants to subscribe, would that violate it too?
Yeah, it has to be marked as specifically for children if there's in any way any likelihood that it's going to be appealing to children.
I wonder what RC Meister will do.
Well, if you mark it specifically for children and you show the Legos, then you're okay. But if you don't mark it for children, it's not okay?
Yeah, if you're making videos about toys, so on one of the videos where the guy was far more, he'd read through all the legislation, he'd read through COPPA, he'd read through all of the intimate details that's happened to YouTube in terms of their recent $150 million fine. Well, in his explanation, he basically said, look, a kid's not going to know the difference between a very rare toy model, and one that's just generic that they'd play with. They don't know the difference. They just look for a video of that thing. It doesn't matter that you've, painstakingly put together this model of Buzz Lightyear, and it's taken you a year because you've done every little intricate piece, handmade it, and it's a work of love by an adult. You're still producing a toy and making a video about it. So that's for kids. It's just, that's the way it is. That's why there's a lot of outrage about it at the moment, because there's a lot of people with what you'd call family-friendly content that, give you a different example. An artist, she's doing cell animation, and she's saying, you know, I don't want to just start swearing so that my animation, which is just animation, it's not specifically targeted at kids, it's just what I like doing, but I know a lot of kids watch my videos, so I've got two choices: mark it for kids or potentially get fined, even though she's not specifically making it for kids, it's just animation. But if a kid sees a brightly coloured animated thumbnail and goes, oh, I like that, well, then that's appealing to kids because it appeals to kids.
So if you have a globe as a thumbnail and it's a cartoon, and you want to explain to kids how the Earth is a fine ball.
Yeah, if you've made your video and targeted it under 13-year-olds, then you're making a video about how the globe dissection works for kids. Now, the subject matter is irrelevant. Is it targeted towards under 13s or not? That's all that's relevant. Now, you know, in the same way, YouTube aren't getting criticised because kids are finding Spider-Man and Elsa videos. That's not why they've been fined. They've been fined because they've gleaned data from children to target market to them. That's why they've been fined.
Yeah.
And they don't want to own up to it, so they changed the rules to where the content provider, is the one at risk now.
It's not that they haven't admitted to it, they've been prosecuted. So it's not a case of having to admit to it. And I'm going to start the live show.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on social media. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by the one, Paul, Jibby Jedi, Chocolate Sane, and 10th Man in G+. How you all doing?
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Megatron.
Good morning.
Also a few people in Discord, so a warm welcome to everyone in Discord as well.
Hola.
Hello, good to have you all.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Guy. Any evidence of Earth curvature?
Not from Bakersfield.
Not from Bulgaria.
Not from Pleasantville.
Pleasantville? Pleasantville was a film about 1950s America, where the whole film is in like black and white, and then as people start to become infected with modern society, they turn into colour. That's the movie, right?
That's the one.
And the one character has an orgasm and then becomes colour.
Yep.
They didn't have orgasms in the 1950s. There was no such thing. Anyway, let's move on. Any signs of axial rotation? Not from Pleasantville.
Not from the Earth-based variety.
Yeah, no time to practice at all.
Nope.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What?
Nope.
There was an article 2 weeks ago in Science News talking about trapping atoms in a laser beam offers a new way to measure gravity.
So what is it?
Anybody see that?
That's like smelly fart acting from Friends.
I didn't catch
I
that.
didn't, but
Yeah, I can't say that I saw that. No.
would you say it's
November
scientific
7th.
evidence? Is it scientific?
Yeah. How atoms, how they are suspended, you can now measure them more accurately with a laser
Measure
beam.
them. What are them? And is this scientific evidence?
Atoms.
Atoms. Not gravity.
This is how they're measuring gravity, they claim, by trapping the atoms in like a tube and hitting it with a laser beam, which splits the atom, so the atom exists in two places at the same time, above and below. This is their claim.
I see. We'll have to get a bit more
How
info on it.
how does that measure a concept?
I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some scientific validity to it. If we can find out what the experiment that was done, that'd be really useful. If you can let us know, Jibby.
No worries.
Okay, I could post it in Master B.
Cool.
So, Jibby, did they say a laser trapped an atom or time?
A laser what?
The time bending?
No,
The bending of
they didn't mention time.
Oh, so now it's lasers that
Yeah.
keep. Okay, no longer bending of space-time. So they've changed again.
Yep, I just got there's the article right there in the Master B.
So it's the bending of laser time?
No, they did not measure that. This is why the speed of gravity must equal the speed of light. This is another article from October 24th in Forbes. I'll post this one too. This is where they do mention time with gravity. I just did some browsing last night on some of this just for the housekeeping questions. See if there was anything new out there.
Time and gravity, so concept and concept. Copy that.
They are saying this is why the speed of gravity must equal the speed of light, which is that's crazy. That's a crazy title.
Didn't we just have this argument yesterday
I don't
with
know.
Rumpus comparing 4D space to 3D Euclidean?
Yeah.
It was just on yesterday's show.
He said 4D space time is real, and that you can show it by somebody walking around in their kitchen.
Yeah.
And then funny enough, for an Orthodox came on a little bit later after that and said, "I'm going to turn on my camera and show you stuff in my kitchen."
Oh,
So
yeah.
apparently, if kitchen, then bending of conceptual medium. Thanks.
There's a problem. I'm just reading my. Sorry, bear with me.
Hang on.
There's an article. I'm just reading your article, the first one you sent, Jibby, and it's not proving anything. They're asserting a presupposition that gravity is causing something.
Correct.
So while held in the light, each version of a single atom behaves slightly differently, comma, due to their different proportions in Earth's gravitational field. Well, this isn't proving it. That's a presupposition.
Yeah. So sad about the Globers now.
Hey, Chocolate. Hey, Chocolate. So
Yes, sir.
so he said, yeah. So he said, if kitchen, then space time, right?
If you walk around in the space in your kitchen, then space time, something like
Right.
that. pretty
Well,
much.
you know, that's a fallacy. We call it bacon the question.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is off to a bad start. If the
Yeah.
sun was
Bacon the
spontaneously cease emitting light, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes. Well, that's based on a presupposition of an R value and a spherical Earth for a start. So their distance to the sun and the time it would take. Why am I getting rumpus before I finish my point? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that 8 minutes equals distance to the sun.
Yeah, based on an R value that they presuppose in a spherical model with the Earth traversing the sun. This is a whole string of presuppositions to make that statement as their opening gambit. Now they've got 93 million miles stated as well, again based on a presupposition of an R value and a spherical Earth. Kepler's third law applied to interplanetary motion, based on an R value. This is just a presuppositional string of bullshit. I'll read a little bit more.
So basically, they've fallen flat from the beginning.
It's just begging the question of orbits. if the sun was to spontaneously somehow be removed from existence, then the Earth would remain in its elliptical presuppositional orbit. Paraphrasing slightly. Yeah. Just load of presuppositions. Okay, thank you, Jibby. Any evidence to distance the sun beyond a presupposition?
Nope.
Give me 8 minutes and I'll get back with you.
What about the R
Totally
value?
stole that from me.
Any evidence of the R value that used in said presupposition?
No, and that's the problem with these articles, is because they have no proof of those things, but they always incorporate them in their new theoretical articles. But get to the baseline of it. Like, where is the proof of R?
Theoretical. Theoretical.
So then,
Those wouldn't be scientific theories, right? Or just colloquial?
It's colloquial.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
so it sounds like if article, then scientific fact.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty much.
As opposed to claiming your suspension of atoms is an observed phenomena, definitely not natural, and then simply asserting that gravity is causing things to happen with that arrangement. Oh, right. Very scientific. Not. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
I should think you should ask Danny Faulkner about it, a PhD astronomer.
Think you'd know.
I heard he had a good answer about it, encompassing it all for 5 seconds of silence.
Right. Best answer he could have given the circumstances, i.e. the circumstances being you can't have gas pressure without a container, and he has a fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum in violation of the second law of thermodynamics. So his stony silence was probably the best he could have done. Shout out to the flatearthchannel.com. He says, good morning from Toronto. Good morning to you too. Thank you for the super chat, flatearthchannel.com.
Hello?
Hello.
There was this guy in Discord yesterday on the chat, Undergrowth, that waits until the after show is over. He's called, what was it? Puppy Lover or something. And he says
Yeah, I know that loser.
He says that the gas pressure gradient is evidence for this. And then when you hold him to it and ask why, he just says he believes in a sky vacuum.
That's nice.
Well, maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but perhaps if we are unfortunate enough, he will show up and try to explain it himself.
It's circular
Dances
reasoning.
with fools.
Circular reasoning.
Do
I
you
believe
know
the
why the
sky is a
Globers
vacuum, therefore the sky is a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Circular reasoning. Exactly the same tactic used by son of an astronaut M. Scott Veitch. Point at the sky, assert it's a vacuum, and that being a demonstration of your fundamentalist belief in a sky vacuum. Circular reasoning.
All praise.
Dances with fools. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, dancers, don't
Yes, I
hold
can
your
hear
breath.
Echo.
Don't hold
Go
your
on,
breath,
Babs.
dancers. That's not one of the guys that will come in here and defend his claims. So don't worry about him.
Yeah.
He'll stay
I was just going
very
to tell
silent in
Dances
chat.
with Fools that I know. I was just going to tell Dances with Fools that I know why the Globers that come in here don't say anything until the show's over. That's because we're on a live show and they don't want to get humiliated in front of the whole world. So they'd rather talk to us when this isn't being recorded, just because they're able to avoid getting wrecked on a live show.
I would agree with that assessment completely.
Yep.
Well,
And
if
another
the-
assessment that I want to make as well, since we were on the Danny Faulkner subject, he clearly stated that he's not interested in debating us or being challenged. He's only interested in having a smear campaign against flat earthers and get paid for that. So I'm just wondering why people are still interested in talking about him or whatever he has to say when all he wants to do is have a smear campaign against us and get paid for it. I mean, how is this guy different from Simon Dan? Because this is exactly what Simon Dan does. He does smear campaign videos and he doesn't want to be challenged for it.
Can I answer this?
Yeah, good.
I want to tell you that if I'm a normie and somebody points to me out that video of Nathan asking him about the gas pressure, and I have no knowledge in the subject, and I know who he is, and he's a PhD, I'll definitely take a look into it, because this one is silent like a lamb. So what's going on there? If I'm a normie, I'll be triggered by that video. I want to know more.
Anthony had the same attitude, Babs, and the difference is that Simon Dan is a nobody, and a PhD astronomer is a priest in the subject matter. So that's why. It's not that we need him to suddenly affirm that he's got nonsense assertions of religious rhetoric when he talks about his sphere belief, or that he shouldn't be challenging us or smearing us. That's standard fare. But what we can still do is expose a PhD astronomer as having no answer to the second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum he believes in. And he has no answer for that. Now, we can just expose it. Now, once you've exposed it, you move on. But if he, like you say, if he continues to smear us, we'll just continue to expose him as not actually being genuine. He's not truthful. He can't smash all assertions. It's not that people haven't researched enough, as he asserted on his radio interview. He can't answer the questions. So it's just exposing that fact in a heliocentric priest.
Right, we do know that he can't answer any of the questions.
Yeah.
And we also know that people like him have been watching this community for a while. So he's probably noticed that we get a lot of traffic and he's just trying to cash in on it. And the people that are going to read his book are not people that watch this show. They're the zombies that, don't care about the truth.
Well, even better reason to talk about him and to expose him, because Mr. I haven't met a flat earth argument I can't respond to. That's the type of person that needs to be responded to or talked about. So yeah, even though he's played himself out at this point for us, I don't mind talking about him continually, because this guy has got a book, right? He's at flat earth conferences, apparently all three of the American ones, right? Running around with his nonsensical bullshit. So yeah, keep talking about him, keep exposing him, keep putting him out there. Like, look, this guy, simple question, you had no response. Right?
Perfect, Chucky. Perfect.
Thanks. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. I could give a shit about him and his book.
He hasn't answered the questions from 2016, and he writes this book as if he has. Of course, we're going to expose him.
And Nathan gave him enough time to answer.
I just feel like he's a scumbag. Like, he's just obviously doing this for money, and the mere fact that he doesn't want to be challenged by anybody proves that, Like, he just wants to do a monologue and not get challenged and just smear all of us.
So how is
he's actually the best gift Flat Earth ever got. Are you kidding me?
One of the best, yeah.
How is that any different to Neil deGrasse Tyson or Brian Cox, who absolutely won't engage in this debate and are only being paid to punt their religion? That's no different.
It's no different.
Exactly.
It's
this is the exposition of these people. Babs, this is the exposition of these people running from us. Okay? Much shit as they want to talk, Neil deGrasse has stated he will not debate flat earthers, right? Well, none of these people will debate flat earthers. This lady that just got caught out there by Wakey Wakey played herself out and said, "Oh, if I knew you were one of those people, we would even have had this interview," right? So they're afraid to speak to us. Why? Why is that?
That's a good point, Chocolate. They are running from us.
Yeah, but there's one good thing, because if people start knowing who they are, get to know them well, soon will be so many that there will be people stopping them on the streets and asking them those questions. There's nowhere to hide.
Good. Do it. I'm down with that.
Imagine if it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who went to the last 3 Flat Earth conferences in the States. And imagine that interview with Nathan Thompson. It was Neil deGrasse Tyson in that seat not answering. Wouldn't that be gold just to have it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, this is a gift. We got one of them. Wakey got another. And Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse are saying, "You idiots, that's why we don't talk. Why'd you go there?"
Nah, Neil deGrasse is already too bothered about this because he's been asked twice, 2 interviews with Joe Rogan and Jesse Ventura. Why do you seem irritated by this topic? Why do you seem irritated by this subject? Right? So he's talking to regular guys and he's irritated. Imagine
Right,
if
but
one of us ran up on him.
yeah,
That's not
exactly.
happening.
Did you see the interview last year, I think it was, with Bill Nye basically having a breakdown about
Yes,
Flat Earth?
yes, I did. Yes.
That was...
Getting
he
very,
was just
very
being
annoyed.
interviewed about something else, and he just kept reverting back to Flat Earthers in their statements, like he was having a breakdown.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He's
I didn't
full
see
on
that.
spewing his zealotry and spewing his disdain for flat earthers. Not addressing any arguments, just pointing out how stupid we are based on the fact that it's obviously a sphere. That was about as good as it got from him.
Obama did it in live news conferences. He went all the way to Obama saying, "There are people who believe the Earth is flat."
Or we don't have a time for meeting of the Flat Earth Society. He
Yeah.
said as well.
Was this
Pure
before
arrogance.
or after Bill Nye's little statement of the Earth is a closed system? We can't leave the Earth. Something I want your generation to know.
Yeah, that closed system came first.
What
His
was that
breakdown.
about?
Just before
That's
we
a
move
little
on, sorry,
weird.
sorry guys, we've segued away from
Okay.
Babs's point. This was actually Babs's point to begin with, so I don't know if he wants to round it out with anything.
No, I was just stating the fact that I think he's scum, and I mean I understand why you guys are doing what you're doing. I personally wouldn't give him any attention at all, just based on the facts that I pointed out earlier.
Yeah,
Well-
and I can agree with you because I give the same advice when I talk about NASA. You know, why watch NASA broadcasts or SpaceX broadcasts or any propaganda space broadcasts when you can just ignore them? You don't have to give them any credence or attention. My life is more fulfilled for not having that in my life. So to say, well, let's go and look at this subcategory, this branch of heliocentrism, this particular priesthood, and attack them, well, but for the fact that he's actually at a flat Earth conference that we're all watching, probably wouldn't have got any attention. He's just another heliocentric priest, right? But he's right up in our faces. Now, your attitude as well, leave him be, same as Anthony's. And while I understand that argument, it's the exposure of the fraud in that regard that's necessary.
I have a lot more respect for people like George. I mean, I know he has done horrible things in the past, but at least he comes in and challenges people. He doesn't just monologue and, you know, doesn't want anybody to challenge anything that he says. You know what I mean?
I don't
but
even
he
know what you
doesn't
just
actually
said there.
Take it up though. He asks you to challenge him, but then when you challenge him, he red herrings you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah,
what
but at
that
least
means.
not
he
much
still
different from
accepts
Rumpus, really.
challenges.
Say again, Babs.
I think most of them just want to lecture us.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do. They want to tell you what's what.
But people
Yeah.
like that are one of the most valuable assets to shows like this one and other shows because they're just there to give all the wrong examples and all the wrong logical fallacies. So that works fine for the normies because they can hear it all.
Yep. QE's been saying it for ages. Just let them open their mouths.
It is
Yeah.
kind of telling, isn't it, that like how many times the same questions were asked and answered in the same way and then rebutted over and over and over again. And it's like the ballers seem to act like nobody has a memory longer than a day. But I'll bet there's a lot of people out there that have a memory longer than a day. And they can see the same questions being forwarded even though they have been rebutted so elaborately.
Globers,
Yeah,
we've told them the
I'll
same stuff
remember.
for 5 years in a row. and they still don't get it. So they're never gonna get it. Like for 5 years, we've been telling them the same things over and over again, and they still don't get it. So they're never gonna
This
get
happens
it.
with
Ever.
every conspiracy is like this. I remember back in the 9/11 days, you could post them 50 videos or 50 websites or 50 studies that are against the official story, and then in the next breath they say, so where's your evidence? And this is the same mentality. Until you say what they want to hear, they don't hear you.
No, they
They're
don't.
just looking for what they want to hear. That's it.
But
Look,
they,
we're the front lines. We're going to get bloody and messy, arguing, debating. Look at Nathan did a great job over there at the conference. And yeah, they want to lecture us. Well, here, explain to us how you can have gas pressure without a container. We're listening. Chirp, chirp, chirp. No lecturing now. No, the front lines is going to be hostile in this sense, and things will flare up. Emotions will get up. The normies will never do this. The normies need the front lines, or else they can't live happy lives behind the front lines.
yeah, and they're digging their own grave and the grave for the ball.
But to do what you've described, Babs, takes quite a lot of cognitive effort. Let's put it that way, and it's strenuous to do so, and that has abject effects further down the line. You know, depression.
Afternoon.
Hey, Adam, good to have you.
Hi, guys.
So yeah, there's a lot of depressed fundies out there.
That they are.
And this is why.
I agree 100%.
This is why. You know, hearing an absolute demolition of your claim and then sticking that on the back burner mentally and just asserting the same thing the following day, well, that's going to hurt mentally.
Brenda.
It really
Brenda.
is, and we can see it in how they behave.
Yeah, I'm good with, not really bringing Danny Faulkner up anymore because we got what we wanted. We wanted somebody to approach him at the conference and
You hear me?
put him to task
Yeah, we hear
and
you.
put him to task, and that's it. So we got that. He responded with the best response that he could muster, and we're good. Or I am.
Then now he's forever part of the flat earth textbook. See, what's the professional answer to it?
Move on.
Sometimes there's some people go in and don't get any support from any other flat earthers. This year, that's what happened to me. I haven't heard anybody really come to my side and ask me how that was to take it up to Gem Panda's server pretty much on my own. I had everybody, Karen B, Riley, Babs was there, Psychics were a bunch of people. They all watched that unfold. They didn't say a word a lot of the time.
Watch what unfold.
Oh, poor baby.
Hold on. Watch what unfold.
See, this is how it goes. See, it's like certain people think that what they do is more important for the cause, or certain egos rise and the cream rises, when there's many people who've gone into battle for this subject and got no credit.
I have no
And
idea what you're
faced
talking about.
Me neither. You'll
more
have to
than
give us more
you
details.
guys would realize.
I want to
Personal
sympathise.
attack.
I want to sympathise with you, Mel, but I just can't get a grasp on the context that you're giving. So you're saying when all this happened, everybody stood by and watched. You're gonna have to give us more detail.
Well, I entered Gem Panda's server, and then there were several people who accompanied me, one being Haunted House John, Psychics Warrior, Space Pope, Dem Mock, and this was coming out the back of a long line of hangouts where we were trying to have a serious discussion to get to the bottom of the heliocentrists and if they really had any definitive proof beyond rhetoric and their hand wanking that they do daily. So certain people took it upon themselves to see if they really had anything. I was in discussions with Jem, Twitwit, M. Scott Veach, a bunch of people, Curved Water, a lot of people who used to frequent your channel once upon a time. They were all ejected and they all found themselves in a little Discord server called Gem Pandas 24/7. They're the main trolls. I mean, George, M. Stone, all the people who troll Flat Earth are there.
Okay.
Why aren't they here giving us their glow proofs?
Well, they have.
No,
They've
but you guys don't go in and take it up to them. People like me did.
Okay.
Yeah,
They've
but
been here.
why
We've already
should we have
smashed
to
them, though.
chase them?
All of those people on the list have been here and
people
smashed,
like me
been
get,
smashed,
like,
Mel.
muted and, like,
Well, they've all,
like don't get any real credit, respect.
We
You
didn't
guys
even know you
don't
were
know what
there.
I faced.
We didn't know you were there. All the people you've listed have been here and
Yeah,
been
you
smashed.
should know. Anthony Riley knows I was there. There's a bunch of people who knew I was in there, facing all them on my own.
What are you trying to achieve in there?
Yeah.
Credence,
Credence?
some rationality, some
Credence and
common sense.
rationality with people who still think somebody drove a dune buggy on the moon.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're gonna come to a rational understanding with
you guys
somebody
all
like that?
invited them into the 24/7 and like gave them airtime.
Yeah, they're still welcome.
Don't be hypocrites, guys.
Are we not?
You're all
They're still
hypocrites.
welcome. You said ejected.
you are.
Nobody was ejected.
Totally hypocrite.
Oh,
You're out
God.
here on YouTube making out like, oh, you know.
What?
Where's
why are you
your
attacking us
respect
now,
for the
Mel? I'm trying to
grassroots?
get to the bottom of what's happened, and you've started attacking me for some reason. I don't get it.
Because where's your respect for the grassroots?
What are you talking about? What respect for what grassroots?
You're out there on Super Chat, you and Jose, all these big channels. Where do you ever get give something back to the real
What are you
people?
talking about? I give up my time daily to do this. So what do you think I'm doing now?
To do what?
To do what I'm doing right this second, discussing...
This is where the grassroots started.
Spruik your own wares.
Well, why have you turned this around into an attack on me when we're trying to establish the issue that you had in a server full of trolls that you've decided to go in of your own volition along with people alongside you, and your criticism is that they didn't support you? And I just want to hear a bit more about that rather than start addressing me and my requirement to have money, which is the same as absolutely everybody.
Because this is why Flat Earth is bullshit.
What, because I need to make a living and have chosen to do it through YouTube and the subject matter of Flat Earth?
Because most people stay on mute, keep their head down, speak when, I don't know, when there's no shots being fired. Because you're all pussies.
But that's not
Yeah,
true.
but you're not talking about the right show, apparently. Because none of us...
Hold on, don't everyone get annoyed. Let him get it off his chest first. Go ahead, Mel.
I know what's going on out here.
Okay, all the people you've listed have already been here and had their arguments taken to pieces.
I'm not against you. I like
Merle,
you're one of the
can I
only
ask you a
people who
question?
takes it right up to them.
Merle,
You know,
can I
come
ask
on,
you?
Babs. You could at least unmute now and fucking vouch for me and that. You never fucking do.
So is that the issue?
You just need to harden up, bro.
Hold on.
What are you
issue?
talking about, Merle?
His issue, from what I can glean so far, is that he went into the Discord server and talks all over me while I summarise his issue.
Fuck you, cunts.
I'm trying to summarise your
I know the server
issue.
you're talking about, yeah. And when I went in there and I asked one of the guys, because they were all talking about Antarctica, so I said to one of the guys, do you believe Antarctica goes around the outside of the Earth, right? Now, the guy I asked didn't have a problem with that question, and he answered yes straight away. But then, as soon as the guy answered, the rest of the flat earthers in that server started saying, well, that's a straw man argument. And I was like, well, how the hell is that a straw man? I only asked him what he believed. And then it was just abuse about being a straw man after that. So there was no point continuing the conversation with him.
Who's them?
The flat earthers in that channel Merlin was talking about.
See, because you've used that terminology, you almost got away with it. You said them, and then rather than specifically addressing the people who claimed it, or the person that was having the discussion that stated his belief in an ice wall, you've said them, the flat earthers. So this becomes a stereotyping fallacy. It's a straw man if the entirety of flat earthers are being pigeonholed by this one guy's example. Ergo, straw man. Correct analysis.
Yeah, but I wasn't asking if all the flat earthers there believed that. I was only asking.
Try and keep up, Highlander. Try and keep up, mate. Try and keep up. I just asked you that question, and your answer was the flat earthers. That was your answer. So you've already contextualised who was being stereotyped when I asked you quite directly, who are they? And you told me, flat earthers.
I thought you were asking who was calling me a straw man.
Yeah.
Yeah? Who was saying that was a straw man?
That's what I was asking. Try and keep up. Yes.
But Merle's not addressing the flat earthers on that server. He's addressing the Globers on that server.
Yeah, I'd still like to go back to Merle's issue, because it sounds like he's saying there's not enough support given from other flat earthers when support is needed. Now, the context I'm not so fussed about in terms of the subject matter that was being argued about, more about the communal aspect as much as it makes me gag, which is what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. Kumbaya.
Yeah, kumbaya, but still, that's his issue, and I want to hear it.
But why bring the? Are we kumbaya people over here? I don't.
No.
Did we ever display ourselves like that?
Does it change?
So why are you bringing that here, bro? I'm not like you and I have always gotten along. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Me too.
So you went on Gen Panda's server, and I don't know, you had it out with them, and you don't feel like you got enough support from flat earthers. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to kind of understand.
Well, yeah. I mean, it went on for months. I mean, I've got a recording of it, like of even Jem asking me to come back to the ball, and there's a nice seat for you back on the globe, Merle, and all this.
But they do that to
Oh,
me.
hang on,
he
Merle.
said, "Come back to the ball. We have cake."
Yeah, they do
Hold on,
that
sorry.
shit to me
One at
all
a
the
time.
Merle,
Just one,
why-
I think. Hold on, just Arwin, then Babs. Go ahead, Arwin.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say, Merle, look, they do that to me like on a weekly basis, and like ever since I came out basically as a flat earther, they keep on doing that. It's like their religion compels them to, just like Jehovah's Witness. They have to try against all odds.
Go ahead, Babs.
Merle, I don't get why you're throwing me under the bus, because I was there with you side by side battling the Globers. I'm still there, and it's just me all by myself against like 10 people. So I don't know what you're talking about when you're saying that I wasn't there or I didn't have your back. What are you talking about?
Good. No, that's what I wanted to hear.
Okay, then. All square.
I wind
So
him up.
was that
but
reverse
he's
psychology? What?
No, but he.
Merle,
this is-
if
see,
it's
this
one
is-
flat earther against 10, they are outnumbered. You shouldn't need support if you're swinging right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
natural law and science, and you're outnumbering them 10-1.
Let the arguments
Yeah.
do the
Take
damage.
it as an opportunity to sharpen your argument.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. That happened. Definitely did.
But you still
But
got the gripe.
it's all good. I just thank you. Thanks, Nathan. It's not. I appreciate you.
If you just wanted to get that off your chest, then fine. I'll move on in housekeeping.
Yeah. I do. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
worries. If you've got a grievance, it doesn't matter if it's a kumbaya grievance or not. No, we're not kumbaya people, but at the same token, doesn't mean that people who come here aren't. They are. There are people who want to hear they're being supported by other people when they go out tentatively to challenge the globe earth rhetoric. So I get where you're coming from. It's not my bag, but it's yours, and I don't disrespect that. Hey, Quantum Eraser, very good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Not in Indonesia.
I don't think they'll even defend that one.
Sorry, what was that question again?
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? Shout out to Superlooming Hyena says, give Merrill a trophy for going on Gem's Good Discord. Yeah, right on. Thank you very much, Superlooming Hyena.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly not a coward.
Hold on, Arwin. Highlander wants to make a point. Go ahead, Highlander.
I just want to go down the same kind of logic as you do when I ask you a question. So before we can answer that, can you tell me how big the Earth is, where the Earth is, what it's made of?
Oh,
before
I'm not
we
asking
can talk
because
about anything
I see.
about the Earth.
Yeah, I'll just clear up that confusion. I'm not asking because I'm making a claim that Earth has a molten iron core. It's part of the standard model. So I'm asking for demonstrable proof from the people who believe in the standard model of their belief in the standard model. I'm not actually making any claim. I don't believe there's a molten iron core, or do I need to know any parameters about anything to take a dump on that claim? Which is what I'm doing by asking for proof of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of an Earth presupposed to be spherical. I don't need any parameters to ask for that evidence. It's made clear in textbooks for school children that the heliocentric model has that. So I'm not making a claim. I don't need to give you anything.
Do you know how big the Earth is in your model, Highlander?
The same as it was yesterday.
What was that?
He said the same. He said the same as it was yesterday. And what was that?
I heard that. That's what I'm saying. What was it yesterday?
5
The
divided
same
by
as it
0.
was the day before that.
Come on, Highlander.
What is it?
No, I don't need to. No,
how big is
Chocolate.
the
I'm not
Earth?
going to let you do it. Don't shit test him on his knowledge of heliocentric equators and R values. I don't care. You know, the fact is that the model has a presupposed R value and a presupposed spherical molten iron core self-perpetuating. Those are the things that I want to see evidence of, not his knowledge of the model, because the model's not the reality, and the reality is claimed to have a molten iron core. That's all I'm interested in. Sorry, I'm just not going to let you shit test him. It's just not necessary.
No, I hear you. I just, to me, I like the pattern of asking him questions that he himself can't respond to.
Wasn't presupposing anything about the Earth.
Except
You
when
told
somebody
me
else is
before
talking.
we can talk about the light that we know we get from the sun, you need to know what the sun is, where it is, and what it's made of.
That's right.
What's the sun?
Why do you need to know all that to talk about the light that we know we get from the sun?
We're not talking about the sun. We were talking about molten iron core. If your juxtaposition is to say that in order to know what the sun is, we'd first need to know how big it is or how far it is, then yeah, that's perfectly reasonable, because beyond that you have to make a presupposition. In this instance with the molten iron core, there's no evidence at all. There's no fudging of maths. There's just a bullshit claim.
I'll just speak on
Again,
that.
see, this is the problem we have, is that you guys don't listen. Just like yesterday, you didn't listen, right? Here's yesterday's example, right? I asked what was 5. Hold on, let me finish. I asked what was 5 divided by 0, right? The answer is undefined, right? You can't do it. You can't divide by 0.
Yeah, but you said it was 0.
Then I asked, right? Hold on. Then I asked if there's 5 apples on the table, right? And I divide that by 0 people. How many people have apples, right? And you lot went on a mad fucking rant, and we just answered that. It's not the same fucking question.
Look,
right?
Highlander,
The whole point wasn't
no offense, mate. I don't want it.
question.
Highlander, can you
The
shut
whole
up now?
point was to see
Highlander.
if you listen.
Highlander,
Yeah?
can you shut up now?
You don't.
Can you shut up? I don't want to have to remove you for being totally unreasonable and babbling on indefinitely that we don't listen, that you've said 6 times. There's just no need. Now, the fact that you had a total bum beating yesterday over this doesn't change the fact that we don't want to discuss it now. It's a pointless conversation when we're on the topic of a molten iron core that there's no evidence of. This is a ham-handed segue to your arse beating from yesterday.
But
Zero.
Can I point out though that he just hold on. He just specified that it's undefined, but yet yesterday said it was 0.
Yeah, he's
So
trying
does he
to
accept,
weasel,
concede that it was wrong? His response?
Yeah,
that
it was
you
demonstrated to
don't
be
know
wrong.
what 5 divided by 0 is.
Yeah, he's trying
You
to
said that.
weasel in the right answer, having given the wrong answer and claimed that a 7-year-old knew and told him. And then when he gave the wrong answer and it was clearly defined by Quantum Eraser, he's doing what he does now, which is talking over me. Yeah, you took a proper beating yesterday on this subject, Highlander, to now rumpus the crap out of everybody and distract from the fact that I've asked for molten iron core evidence to this crap where you got a beating. I don't want to hear it.
But I get right, and I asked, right, using the same logic and reasoning you did when I asked you about the light from the sun. I didn't ask you anything about the sun. I asked you about the light from the sun.
Who cares?
Yeah?
We're not talking about
But
the sun. We were
said,
talking
well,
about a molten iron core.
Talk about the light from the sun.
Yeah, you've said 4 times. That's not the question on the table. You're just distracting from that question. Do you have evidence of a molten iron core? If not, I want to go to Adam. Been waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes.
No, I'm using your logic and reasoning to try and answer that question.
So you
But
have
you don't like
what?
it when your logic and reasoning is
Sorry,
turned
yeah, I heard that
against you.
too. What have you got as evidence of a molten iron core? Go.
Come on.
Adam.
Serious?
Over to you, Adam.
Well, yeah, just to bring it back to the I did have a little bit of evidence, which was on the Global Eye Tour banners. We had a picture, cross-sectional picture with the molten iron core in there. And it's a really interesting topic to get people on. And I'm being a bit geeky. I wanted to get to the molten iron, the Curie point, etc., etc. But the thing I found with regards to that when interacting with people and just giving that description was the Kola Super Deep borehole. And going on to the picture, pictures are great sometimes with their little model where you show you the presuppositions that even in their model they make. And on the printing, there's this tiny little white line basically going around the cross section. And I'm saying to people, look at that. That's not even, that's going to be 50, 60 miles. So we've only gone down 8 miles. Can you see how ridiculous it is, the presumptions they're making, that they're trying to pretend that they know the composition of all of this area all the way down? And I found that a really powerful argument. And we're not dealing with ballers here. We're dealing, just with laymen that really did strike home. It was quite a powerful point, and probably with the way Highlander was distracting as well. You can see it's a very different.
Adam, it's not even a full 8 miles, bro. It's like 7.6. Like, it takes longer for me to get to work. Than how deep we've gotten. Like, this is ridiculous.
Anything else to add on the molten iron core, or can we move on to the next housekeeping question 45 minutes into the live show? Housekeeping. It's supposed to be done in like 2 minutes.
Well, if all goes right, housekeeping is technically not supposed to get done, because when we ask a question, one of these questions should be completely destroyed by one of these globers if we actually lived on a ball.
Yeah,
so we shouldn't even get past number 1, but apparently we get through all of them every day. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, if there's one proof that the Earth is flat, that's it.
I'm going to read out.
Like,
4 hours.
What? Say again, QE?
What's up, John?
4 more hours.
4 more hours. I'm going to read out Chris. Is it Pogson? Chris Pogson says 7 stages of denial: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and acceptance. Takes a while for 90% of Globers to get past the first 4. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Chris Pagson. Also a shout out to Don B, who says, second donation of the day. Well, thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. He says, great job, guys. Well, thank you for the super chat, Don B. Really appreciate your support. Is there any evidence in the entire history of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics of a viable hypothesis?
No.
Nope.
Presuppositions, at best.
That's what I was going to say.
It's been on the table for about 3 weeks now. In this time, we've had Wakey speak to an astrophysicist, and we've had Nathan Thompson speak to an astronomer, both experts in their field.
Well, I think right after asking that question, Michio Kaku did a good job answering, at least with the subject of theoretical physics, because he says nobody in my field knows, or understands, uses the scientific method. It's guesswork, leaps of logic. We work by the seat of our pants. That's your science, guys.
Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure, that would be what we all breathe, without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon, and be pressure.
Danny Faulkner.
Can you ask your space-time question? Now we've concluded the housekeeping questions. I watched the replay yesterday, and it didn't come through until Quantum Eraser said, "Look, can you let the one ask his question about the fourth dimension of time in regards to the 3 dimensions of space?" Can you repeat your question that was put to Rumpus yesterday?
Absolutely. I wanted to know, because Rumpus seems like a guy who can answer that question. So yesterday on the show, I asked Rumpus, how much time do you have in a cubic meter of space? And then how much space do you have in an hour? And he said it's a stupid question, malformed question.
You should have known the answer is 3.
Yeah, how dare he not just rattle off a random number and just say, well, there you go. Mathematically. There's at least 25 seconds in a cubic meter.
Well, it was a very clever question.
It was clever, very clever.
And Rumpus should have known the answer.
Well, the whole time I'm talking to him, I'm trying to lead him to the point of confession, something devastating that he actually says. And I couldn't get him there. You did with that question. Because him saying, well, that's a malformed question is like, right, I'm asking you, and the reason you're being asked this question is because I'm asking you to show me space-time. And when you're asked how much time is in a cubic meter, well, that's malformed. Well, yeah, we're talking about 4th dimensions here, aren't we? Something that you can't possibly show, but you reify into existence because Einstein said it's so. No, I even said it's so. Defined it as pseudo, right? So it's not like he's pretending it's real either. It's only these muppets that reify it into existence.
Yep. And it's good that now everybody on the panel will use it everywhere. It's just my...
There was a point. I'm sorry, D. There was a point when Nathan and Rumpus were going back and forth, and he said it's not just a concept, it's real. And then he says, just because you don't understand the concept of it. I'm just sitting there
I caught that after.
I don't think anybody caught that either.
Yeah, I didn't. I wrote it in the chat on the subscribe today, link below, to Nathan Oakley channel. So the Uncut and After show, when these live show finishes, actually go out on that channel. So 10 p.m. UK time tonight. The bit that we record after this live show finishes will go out. And in that instance, it was the Rumpus, and he's arguing away, and I just didn't catch him say that. So he's saying, no, space-time's real, space-time's real. And then he says, if Einsteinian mechanics is a difficult concept to understand, you're like, damn, why didn't I catch that in the moment?
I know, I just heard it when I listened to it back this morning. I was just like, nobody caught that either.
I think Rumpus should write a book and name it How to Conceptualize a Concept.
Well, he wanted to use the word modified as if that's going to change what a conception is.
The second thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Well, we have you on record saying that. It's just
Where have you got me on record saying that entropy doesn't apply to the Earth? I'd never say such a thing. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Yeah.
In that one statement, he's made himself look more stupid than ever. Natural law doesn't apply to nature. That's essentially what he's saying. Did you want to answer me, Merlin?
Oh no, sorry. I just was excited to hear Rumpus's nonsense for a second. It's good.
Gets me excited too. Shout out to Dave Rackier Gafford. He says, "Dang, I was on mute. Almost forgot to support what I love and matters, truth." Oh, thank you very much, Dave Rackier Gafford. Really appreciate your support.
Shout out Rocky Life. Shout out, bro.
He's a content producer, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've seen his sunset videos, his moon videos. Good shit, man.
Yeah. Subscribe today. Dave Rackier Gafford. Click on his icon. Go to channel. Go and subscribe. Does actually produce videos. My favourite kind of viewer.
I'm digging for a bit, if I may, into Riemannian geometry, which is what pseudo-Riemannian force space was built upon. And it wasn't exactly what I expected, but apparently it's a study of geometry. Here it goes, based specifically on the study of curves. Like, it's weird. And even the Riemannian geometry is just purely geometrical theory. All of it.
Mathematical
Not
theory.
involving time or anything. And Einstein added onto that. I'm just flustered.
It's not a scientific theory.
No. It's a study of geometry. Apparently, that they engaged in with their
like science is a branch of science.
His pseudo-Riemannian force space concept on top of it, like a crown. Made of whatever.
Time's always going to be a concept. Doesn't matter what you do in the mathematics. It's a concept. That's
right.
I thought we covered this yesterday.
No. But it's just fascinating to see that it all stems from the pure study of geometry, especially involving curves. That is just so weird. It's like making things into mathematics.
Mathematicization.
Yes, that's the one. I couldn't get it. Sometimes I get it right, but the mathematicalization, I'll call it, of like physical features. And it's basically working the other way around, from math into physical literalness. That's what that studies. And then Einstein wrote on top of that, inserted time concepts, and then suggested that would cause gravity, even though the very medium is basically a studying medium for geometry in physical features. So weird.
That's because it's not real.
Yeah.
Who's got a soundboard?
Warping in my kitchen. Yeah, that's the point. You can't show it because it's not real. It's not real.
I love it. Right, with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. If you're not already subscribed to Nathan Oakley, there is a link in the info box below this video. As I say, I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in that next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I love it. Great.
Screen share?
I didn't shout this person out on the show, so is it Chico 2J? Says Highlander is dumb AF. No. Thank you for the super chat anyway. No need.
Can I get a screen share?
Yeah. You're on?
Am I? So that's assumingly the solar system. So that's a challenge to the Rumpus. Rumpus, I want you to show me this thing on the screen by using this thing on the screen. You get it, Rumpus?
I don't get it.
So that's how orbits go. So this whole presupposition enacted on this piece of fabric as they explain it to students, the bending of space-time. So
No. Oh, I see. Now you've said that. That's where I interrupt. No. Space-time's not being bent in the analogy they use with this stretched out piece of fabric material. Actual fabric. Well, the fact they might claim it's analogous to the bending of a conceptual medium known as space-time doesn't mean this is a demonstration of the bending of a concept. Because what they're actually bending, I don't know if anyone can... I'll put my mouse in case it isn't obvious. This is actual fabric as opposed to conceptual space-time?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want them to die by their own hand.
Cool.
This is them reifying a conceptual medium into a bed sheet.
Yes.
Or a trampoline.
Yes, that is the very definition of a reification.
Feel tempted, Rumpus, to show us that.
But you can hear my frustration in whoever played that soundbite. You know, my frustration is the fact that all they will do is say, no, but it's real. That's their defense. I say, well, that's reification. And their response to that is, no, it's real. No, it's real. No, it's real. In other words, assert the reification over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter if you say till you're blue in the face, but it's a concept, it isn't real.
John, stop playing the bongo.
Yeah, all your sounds are coming through. You need to change your Discord server settings so that you don't get the blings and blongs as notifications and stuff.
No, I had to put...
Stop playing the bongo.
It's all we can hear.
Hold on. And
just need to mute yourself.
Oh, God.
You just need to mute yourself in the Hangout, John.
I am.
Is he rumpusing himself?
You're not.
Word, I just listened to the after show. Everything's muted.
No, you're not. In the Hangout, we're still getting all the sounds from your desk. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for moving.
You have the cheek to criticise my music, and that's the best you can come up with, John. On the xylophone.
That's completely ruined the mood. So I was saying the reason for my over enthusiastic, passionate voice yesterday with the rumpus is because this is just the definition of a bloody hellfire. How many more blings and blongs are there? Can you turn the sounds off in your Discord server, John? Anyway, it's because it doesn't matter if you say till you're blue in the face. Oh, I'm going to give up. That's it. I'm done. That was the last time.
Go ahead.
No, I'll give up.
All right. Well, I want to make a comment on that fabric that the guy was using in the second picture that Deon showed. So when we asked for a demonstration of how you can have gas pressure without a container, they don't even budge. They can't do it, so they don't even try, right? So, but this guy's trying to use that cloth as representation of space-time and gravity, and it fails. So why aren't they bold enough to show us gas pressure without a container with something? Is it possible?
But they do, but it's just got a container.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I guess they hope maybe we won't notice it Maybe that was the angle. Maybe they tried to. The flat earthers are so stupid they might not notice the container that we have.
So
The
your
two of them
reference.
that we have in the video.
So you're referencing Hillbilly Blue Balls with the container, and I'm referencing the fabric, but no space time.
Right. Exactly. These are your champions, people. These are the people that are sticking up for your ball, that have decided to defend your ball. Somebody who titles a video "Gas Pressure" without a container, and it's got two of them in the video.
They're a bunch of
If
bold.
that's not joke level, then I don't know what is, bro. I don't.
Hey, and then
They're
the
bold
fabric,
clowns.
and then the fabric of space time, which has actual fabric.
Right. Like you really thought, Blue Balls, that opening up your little pipe was going to negate the fact that it's a container? Really? Well, good looking out, because then you went ahead and proved that you can have an actual pressure gradient in a container, which you guys blatantly said plenty of times can't be proven. So good looking out on that, buddy. Loser. Yes, I went Ace Ventura on you.
Kick this ball down the road. Hey guys, guess what?
Go on.
Earth is flat.
Yep. Nailed it.
Yeah, it's obvious and observably flat.
A flat what?
Something.
Plane.
Earth. Whatever that may be.
No.
Well, Red Pill Philosophy this morning before my show had a elaborate, face-to-face with the camera discussion about that to his chat. And it got me thinking, like, flat Earth, can we really call it flat? And then basically what came out is, okay, the geometrical orientation of the Earth's surface is flat. That is a perfectly correct statement that can be backed up. But then you go, is it literally flat? Well, surface, the water mostly. But then, why not just call it level and stationary Earth? Because it is level by every definition.
Means
Because
exactly the
level's
same
flat.
thing. Yeah, means the same thing.
But
Right.
more.
Minus the topography, it's flat or level. It's simple as that. You should have had like a 30-second video clip.
But if it was, then why hasn't it become interchangeable in the very thing that we do automatically? I don't agree. There's
What?
more to things.
You're gonna have to translate that.
There's just more branching out the approach of the word, what it can mean.
What word?
Level versus flat.
Level is flat. Defined.
Yeah, but it's not where there's no level Earth scene. It's a flat Earth scene. So it's not just a randomly interchangeable word.
Level, yeah, it is. They're synonymous. Level is flat. Minus the topography, the Earth is flat or level. Period.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's
they're
called the
probably
flat Earth
fighting
scene, not the level.
against that, Arwen. They're probably fighting against that right now by trying to reinstate in everybody's brains that level is curved. Okay, because been their new shit. That they're actually stating blatantly that level is curved.
Yeah, well,
People are
maybe they're trying to catch the gem before we do. Because maybe calling it level Earth or level and stationary, both of that, will resound much better on the long run.
GB.
Oh, Mel.
GB Jedi.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think Kinell knows the answer to that question?
No, but she's probably frustrated, stuck
trying
on
to
it,
change
like
the
a
definition
flat
of
what,
level.
and nobody can give an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
It's a very
established it's
revealing
flat.
question.
And now we need to move forward. It's a flat what?
Realm?
And the only answer I have is realm, whatever that is.
It's a realm and it's stationary and level.
Right. What's a realm?
It's a container.
Apparently, level isn't flat.
Say that again.
Apparently, level is not flat.
Really?
Apparently,
And
and
Yeah,
can also mean
that's what I
or.
keep hearing.
Yeah. And apparently, and can also mean or, according to the same group.
Well, I mean, this is the problem when you actually believe that you're sticking right now magically to the side of a ball spinning around in space. I mean, that's the mentality we're dealing with.
Feel sorry for all those people in Australia. Head down. Jesus. All their
I
life.
don't. It's summer there now.
Yeah, it's great down here.
It's not down, it's sideways.
Well, when you have to explain to grown adults that there's a fundamental difference between natural and synthetic, and that level is not curved, you have crossed a feebly pathetic line into abject absurdity. Thanks.
Well, I actually like calling it level Earth. Because, and it's funny, because if you think about it, yeah, a level there, it has been incorporated in the concept of gaming. And if you then, that draws in some kind of feel for the virtual or the holographic, whatever, or a simulation realm. Now, I'm not subscribing to that, but still, it may actually just catch on much better. And who knows? You know, people could say, okay, well, this is the Earth level. This is our Earth realm, and when you die, you go to the next level, heaven or whatever.
We'll have Nathan change his name to the show, Level Earth Debate.
I've got no issue with that. It's the same thing. I was just about to say, you say minus the topography. Excuse me. I remember watching a interview with the Morgile once. I can't remember who was interviewing him, but he was kind of asked a question along the lines of how level is level. And the Morgile drew a comparison, excuse me, between Neil deGrasse Tyson's statement about a spherical Earth. He said if you shrunk a spherical Earth down to the size of a bowling ball and then ran your hands over it, it would feel comparably, Earth that is, in this example, Earth as a sphere, I should say, in this example, would feel comparatively the same as a bowling ball. In other words, the vastest, deepest valley and the highest mountain would be comparably the same as, you know, the minor imperfections on a bowling ball. In other words, it's basically perfectly smooth, even if you include the topography. Now, if you take that same example and then just describe it as the Earth actually presents itself, i.e. flat, the same sort of comparative example would say that even with the topology, when you take the entirety of what we know as a whole, it's basically all completely flat.
Yeah,
I'd call that geometrically orientated as flat.
can I just add something to the bowling
It
ball?
sounds like you just confuse smooth with flat.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a retard, you'd probably take it that way, yeah.
No,
Hey.
you
Hey.
can just say something that's retarded, and intelligent people can note the inconsistencies in what you're saying.
Yeah, let Dayan talk.
What kind of house you live in? Huh? What's your foundation of your house? Is it crooked? How come every building needs a what foundation? Why is the leaning tower of Pisa called leaning? What a nonsense.
Because of Coriolis and the spin. Sorry.
We build everything.
So how does
on
a
a
smooth
flat,
surface
level
on a
foundation.
sphere make the same, I guess, argument that something is flat or not flat? How does that work?
I'm saying comparatively, when Neil deGrasse Tyson details a sphere the size of a bowling ball so that you can get your physical hands onto it as a comparison, he's saying that on a bowling ball, to you, at that scale, it would feel perfectly smooth when you presuppose Earth as a sphere. Comparatively, the highest mountains and valleys are nothing by comparison to the overall scale. Therefore, he's saying, Neil deGrasse Tyson would say, that your bowling ball, would be perfectly smooth. Well, the same would apply to a flat plane when you don't presuppose Earth's a sphere. Overall, comparatively, it's flat. All of it, including topography, which was what I was contrasting. So QE said when you minus off the topography, or when Arwin said you're just looking at the geometric plane it's on, that plane is flat. Now, when you add in the topography, yeah, you can say there's some minor differences. But even including the topography, comparatively, as a whole, it's flat. That's what I'm saying.
It's all about the relative size, but then if you try to play bowling with an oblate spheroid or a pear-shaped ball, you won't get that spin.
So what would be the relevance of determining if the Earth is flat or a sphere with that comparison?
Well, try pottery, and you'll
It's
find
not.
out.
It's trying to give you a relative idea of the flatness by comparison with an example made by someone else.
It was about explaining level and flat, that they can be interchangeable.
God, this is nonsense.
That
Can you
doesn't make
hold
sense.
an
No.
ocean?
Level and
Can you
flat are two
hold an
different
ocean
things.
on the round ball?
I'm sure this guy will say yes. Am I right?
Have you seen the hillsides? Which way do the trees grow? Sideways or straight up?
Perpendicular to the Earth's center.
Where
You've
is
seen
the
the ocean? You've seen the ocean? It's called sea level.
aeroplane?
In that same interview that Neil deGrasse Tyson was in, I believe he said something about not letting the definitions of a word limit his understanding of reality. So when you speak of level and flat and things,
That sounds like
if
double
what
speak.
we observe doesn't match what the definition or the word that we are using to describe it had previously meant, then we would have to either change the definition or use a different word.
Yeah, well, definitions are important when we're speaking about science. These terms should be defined, right? Can't just
What is-
flip-flop words, and one word can mean whatever the hell it wants, right?
The guy who's quoting Neil deGrasse Tyson. What's his name?
Flatten destruction.
Hey, flat destruction. I want to address a question to you. I want to address a question to you. Have you heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say or not say the official circumference of the Earth being 25,000 miles in circumference? Yes or no?
I haven't heard him say it, but I believe that that's the case.
Okay. Now, math is math. There's no opinions in math. There's no bias in math. Numbers don't lie. Liars should do figure, but figures don't lie, right? You agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, but there's a
so-
caveat.
so-
Some people can misrepresent the information and ignore certain
hang
facts
on.
that come
Do
to
you
those
agree?
conclusions.
Do you agree 2 + 2 is 4? It can never be 5.
No,
Certainly agree with that.
Okay, thank you. So my question is this: show me the curve that's supposed to exist on the 25,000 mile circumference ball globe. Show me the curve, and then why do we not see this curve?
I can give you the answer right now. First of all, you
Please.
asked me to show you a curve on a 25,000 mile circumference globe. That is inherent in the fact that it is a globe. So I don't even need to show you that. That's like me saying that's like you saying show me the flat plane on the side of a square. I mean, it's inherent in the definition.
Oh, good.
To the other,
you want to buy my house for cash? Show me the cash.
Hold on.
that's
If you're saying,
not, that's not how that works.
hold on one second. If you're saying
That's
it's
not how that
inherent,
works. We're not exchanging for money. That's not. It's
so
totally
yeah,
different.
when you're done, you just let me know. Right. So you're saying it's inherent in the definition. Well, he's not asking you to define it. He's asking you to show it. So show the curvature that's inherent in the definition. Can you show that curvature? That's his question. Not define it and say it's inherent in the definition.
And here's my response. The scale of an object that is 24,000 miles would require you and me to go up into a spaceship a few hundred miles for you to see it. So when do you want to pony up that money so if we can go and I can
So,
not a problem.
Always the same.
No, you have a problem because you're asking for something that is inherent in the definition. A curve.
so you're saying you can't see any curvature until you get in a spaceship and go really, really high. That's what you're saying.
Now, the issue here is whether or not you guys accept
you got a problem because the vacuum of space doesn't exist. No one's been up there to
shape of the
so
Earth.
how
He
can
won't
you
shut
define
up.
it as that?
He's gone into ramble mode where any address to anything he said is going to get talked through by him. So he didn't listen to anything any of you just said.
That's
Yeah,
false.
that's his usual behavior anyway.
So let's take it one
I
at a time.
actually released the mic before you even started talking like that. So you're
Can you
already
shut up? Yeah, now you're going to have things addressed to you. We'll see how you get on. Who was last? I think QE
Try
went
not to
last.
talk about me in the third person. Show some respect.
So I'll try again. The questions you just spoke through will now be addressed to you. Hopefully you won't talk through them and you'll address them once they've been concluded.
And hopefully you'll just get to the asking of the question instead of all of that.
I'm not asking any questions. I'm telling you about your circular reasoning that's law violating. You said the only way to see the curve is to get in a spaceship and go to the vacuum of space. Well, you got a problem there, son, because no one has been into Narnia. The vacuum of space does not exist. Therefore, you have no evidence that you live on a sphere. Thanks.
Okay, so here's my response. You have just told a lie. You have given a false report about what has happened. Many people have done the very thing that you said they have not done, and you have rejected their experiences, and therefore you have created your own circular argument. When people
Their
do
experiences
go
in
up
a
to
place that
space,
doesn't exist.
you ignore the results of their work. So,
But do you understand what the
Owen,
second law of
right, for God's
thermodynamics
sake, QE and this guy are in the middle of a conversation, aren't they? Clearly. He's giving his response, and, you know, once he's finished, I might have to now summarise it because he's getting interrupted. He's saying it's circular reasoning and that we're just denying his fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum. If he needs to, he can repeat that if he wants. Hopefully there won't be a new point added on, and then QE can respond.
Okay, so you once again talked about me in the third person, and you said something. You gave a false report of what I said. I did not say anything about any fundamentalist religion. I said that you take what has actually happened and you reject it as false, so you're giving a false report. So that has nothing to do with religion. Religion
I never
is a
said
totally different experience
anything about what you just said. First, I didn't say it was a religion. Second, I didn't give any false report. Third, there wasn't any circular reasoning. Circular reasoning presumes that I'm presuming an assumption about an issue that's not true. Mine is based on the second law of thermodynamics. I'm not presuming the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics exists. So, you can't go to the vacuum of space because it's the second law of thermodynamics violation. That's not fucking circular reasoning, you clown.
Yeah. What you said was false. So let's address it in the order. First of all, you gave a false report about people not going up into space and therefore being unable to view the circle of the Earth. Excuse me, I did not interrupt you. Hey, is this going to be one of those types of situations?
Yes, because you've reasserted something he's addressed. He's addressed it. Are you going to listen or not? You've asked a question. Now you're just talking non-stop. Stop talking, please. Stop talking, please. I'll ask you one more time, then you no longer take part in the conversation.
There you go. You're collapsing. Go ahead.
Triggered.
You need to shut up while I talk. That doesn't mean now confirm that you're going to shut up. It means keep your lips buttoned while I summarise the fact that you just reasserted your position in regards to his... No, he can't do it. He can't do it. He addressed...
All your viewers must be retarded.
Excuse me. Can you stop interrupting me, please?
We're listening. We have
Excuse
ears.
me. Thank you. He reasserted...
Hey guys, you guys can contact me on your
Right,
own.
that's it.
I have
No
my own
more.
channel.
Bye-bye.
If you want to
Fuck
continue
you,
the conversation.
asshole. No, you don't get to take part anymore. I'm going to summarise the position that you ignored. That's why he interrupted you. You completely hand-waved his rebuttal and reasserted your position. You ignored his challenge and just reasserted it. That's why he interrupted you. If you don't like it and have to rumpus the shit out of the demolition that you've ignored when it gets stated again and claim foul because he's having to interrupt because you've completely ignored him, then I'm just going to eventually kick you out when you use the constant Globehead Fundy mute button to stop his rebuttal getting repeated. The one you ignored. It's a bloody outrage. It's all the fundies do here. It's why my blood temperature goes so high so quickly and I end up screaming at these assholes. No! It's not that you can just whistle past his complete demolition and then say, oh, you're talking through me. No, you've ignored him. That's why he stopped you in your tracks and said, wait... You've ignored the fact that you've used space again in your challenge to my rebuttal. Space isn't real. That's what QE addressed. He pointed out it's a fake medium. And you said again, no, they go to space. No, that's ignoring him. Damn right he's going to interrupt you.
It's not real to like 200 people on your channel. And
Do you speak for 200 people?
Flathead.
Who's this guy speaking for
The
200
majority of the
people?
people know
How
it's
dare
real.
you? Do you think you speak for 200 people, do you? The arrogance.
The arrogance for you. What are you talking about? You're the
You've
arrogant
just spoken on behalf of 200 people. You, not me.
one. Yeah, because I've been in your community since the beginning.
Are you 200 people? Yo,
I'd say about
dickhead that was talking yesterday with his complete nonsense shite. Are you a complete retard? 200 people, whoever's in the Discord with their mic wide open, not talking, causing feedback, close your mic unless you're this dickhead who's telling people that he speaks for 200 and then when asked, he says, I've been here for a long time. You're one man, not 200, you arrogant dick.
Oh, you're an arrogant. Listen to this. How about you speaking for all the globe earthers, which are about, what, 7 billion people?
Yeah, I can. When I assert my absolute stone-cold understanding of your religious rhetoric. Yeah, I will speak on behalf of every fundy fuckwit there is when I assert your religious belief that you don't understand, Mr. I don't know what space-time is. You found out what space-time is yet? Shit for brains.
No, because I don't...
So, why the hell are you telling me that I'm not allowed to speak on behalf of your religious rhetoric when you don't even know what it is?
You're such a You don't...
I'm not a hypocrite. I'm speaking about your religious belief. I understand it at a fundamental level. Unlike you, who speaks on behalf of 200 people when he doesn't know anything.
Anger, dude.
Yeah, I'm angered at the fact that you've got the gall to talk on behalf of 200 people, then level a criticism at me when I accurately summarise your fundamentalist religious belief as a globehead, which I'm absolutely entitled to do if I understand the subject matter, which I do! Unlike you! I don't understand what space-time is!
You just started into this stuff. QE got in your brain. Now you're pretty much a QE fundy.
Sorry, that's just an ad hominem attack. You don't know what space-time is, yet you're happy to criticise me for speaking on behalf of a religion I understand, while you simultaneously ignore the fact that you've just spoken on behalf of 200 people.
You don't even know
try again, bro.
what.
Go away and learn what your religion is. Space-time, look it up, dickhead.
Your religion is...
Yeah, space-time, you don't even know what it is and you're going to tell me it's not a religious reification. You don't even know what it is!
Never argued...
It's a religious belief!
You who doesn't understand what space-time is are now going to tell me I'm wrong?
Tony, you're upsetting Nathan.
Yeah, you're damn right. He's telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you for a fact. Space-time and the reification thereof is part of your religion. Now, you're going to tell me I'm wrong when you don't even know what space-time is. Tell me I'm wrong. Shit for brains. Arrogant piece of shit.
Fabric, isn't it?
You don't know what the thing is, and you're going to tell me I'm wrong in my assertion when you haven't got the vaguest clue what it is.
He said it's a tapestry.
Did he say it's a fabric, isn't it? Wait, so you're asking us what space-time is? Really?
It's a spandex. It's a spandex of space-time.
He doesn't know what it is. He's happy
Why
to
don't
speak.
you know what space-time is, buddy?
He's happy to speak on behalf of 200 people, and then when I point out that space-time's been reified by fundy religious zealots, he doesn't know what that is, but he's telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do. Unlike
That's why
you.
I brought that up, because you called us fundy religious zealots. So
Yes, because you reify a mathematical construct known as pseudo-Ramonian force space into existence. That's a religious belief.
you live in a freaking...
No, not you. I'm talking about you, Globehead, and your fundy belief in a reified version of existence that has four-dimensional space-time. That's a religious belief, Sunshine. You going to address that, Mr. I don't know what space-time is?
With that part, I haven't looked into it. I don't have to go into space. I can sit...
You don't have to go into space. We're talking about space-time. Pseudo-Ramonian force space. So I don't babble about what you don't know. You don't even know what to look into, let alone what it is when I define it accurately as a religious belief you have. Whether or not you know it or understand it is irrelevant. Your ignorance level doesn't change the religious nature of this assertion.
Yeah, but is flat Earth not a religion?
No, the obvious and observable nature of reality is not a religion. It's the obvious and observable nature of reality. We live on a flat plane.
Yeah, that was created for you by a god. That's not a religion, is it? No,
What
you
is
guys
this
are
red herring?
worshiping something.
Sorry, what's this red herring? You don't understand what space-time is, and you've levelled an accusation that I'm wrong when I call it a religious view, which it is. You, who doesn't understand that, are telling me I'm wrong and then talking over me while I summarise just how ignorant you are and just how arrogant you are, having just spoken on behalf of 200 people. And he's still interrupting me because he doesn't like this being pointed out. So, nice and calm, I'll point it out again. A man on the panel, let's be honest, let's call him what he is, a wanker, speaks on behalf of 200 people, then tells me that I'm not allowed to accurately summarise the reification of the bending of pseudo-Ramonian force space into existence as a religious belief, which it absolutely is. And he doesn't even know what the concept being described as a religious belief is. Yet he's done this having spoken on behalf of 200 people. The arrogance, the gall.
On red herring me.
Not a red herring, summarising what you have just done.
You brought that up and put it out there to make it sound like I did. And you were a liar during St. B's when I was there
Guy,
busting
why would
your
you
ass.
jump into a conversation about space-time when you don't know what it is?
Yeah, he's segued off onto St. B's. What? You got your head stuck 2 years ago in some perceived win that you've had over me, dickhead. Space-time, moron.
Because you guys are liars.
Yeah, red herring. Some bees? What are you talking about? We're talking about space-time.
What the fuck?
No need to
That's a
swear.
red
No need to get angry. Yeah, we're not talking about something from 2 years ago.
Oh, you've been yelling this whole time, moron.
Yeah, because you keep telling me I'm not justified in speaking on behalf of every single globehead fundamentalist religious zealot who reifies pseudo-Ramonian force space into existence. That would be your religious reification that you've said isn't religious, even though you don't know what space-time is!
I can give you a small hint. It's a fabric, right? So I guess it's probably the same fabric as the Emperor's New Clothes were made of, I think. What do you think,
magic
guys?
fabric. Magical fabric that can never be shown in reality, even though it's described as being real by religiotards. Maybe if you looked into what space-time was, you'd get away with levelling this accusation without me humiliating you and screaming at you for your outrageous assertion that I'm incorrect when I summarise your religious belief that you don't understand.
Yeah, but flat Earth is a religion. You believe in something with zero evidence.
Sorry, there's another time that I'm going to interrupt, like the last asshole that decided that he's just going to reassert the position after it's been pulled apart. No, the Earth is obviously and observably flat. That's not a belief. It's the obvious and observable nature of the reality that we face every time we open our eyeballs, beyond the hijacking of an effect called perspective and the use of whole numbers and a calculator that reifies a horizon by way of an R value that's presupposed when your religious belief in a sphere is put into effect. We have no demonstrable curvature to the plane that we dwell atop. It is obviously and observably flat. Not a religious belief, a fact.
Where are you observing this from? Because
every single vantage point of every single position, everywhere on the face of Earth. That's where every picture ever taken, every photograph, video, or everything viewed by any eyeball ever demonstrates Earth is flat.
Right, so if I take a picture from my kitchen window showing you the land going uphill now, that's observably flat, is it?
Yeah, the entirety, the plane, not your view from a kitchen window. Maybe you want to take that picture and present it as globe proof, you fucking moron.
No, I didn't.
So not useful then, you fucktard. What, your picture out your kitchen window's good enough to destroy the obvious and observable nature of reality, but not good enough to offer up as a globe proof? What a moron.
No, you said every picture ever taken.
Yeah, is of the flat plane we dwell atop. Every picture in existence is taken on a flat plane. No demonstrable curvature ever. There isn't any. We don't live on a sphere beyond the hijacking of an effect called perspective.
You said it's observably flat.
That's correct. Observably flat. Yes, that's absolutely an accurate description of the world we look at. Flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Got pictures rolling through this entire show. Every single one of them will have the effects of perspective, and the only assertion that Earth is curving has use of a perspective-omitting calculator.
So you're telling me the Cairngorm Mountains are observably flat?
Highlander, why does Neil deGrasse Tyson say you can't see any curvature at 128,000 feet? Did you hear my question, Highlander?
No, he was talking.
Mountain ranges are observably flat, aren't they?
Dude, who is that?
No, whoever's making that racket, can you stop? Someone who's dragging stuff around
Sorry,
with their mic open.
that's work behind me. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Just keep
Highlander, topography. That's all you're saying is a hillside, a mountainside, a building that's built on something. But we live on a plain.
My point is,
real quick, my question though,
it's not observably flat for everyone in every location. Yeah, you cannot say it's observably flat for everyone in every location.
Yeah, I can. I just did. I said it twice. Do I need to repeat it a third time? Every picture ever taken ever.
Because it's not observably flat for everyone in every location.
Yes, it is. There are no effects of curvature. You won't be able to demonstrate anything that contradicts that statement of fact. Go on then, show me an effect of curvature in any picture. What about this one on screen now? Has this got an effect of Earth curvature in it?
What screen are you looking at? I'm in Discord.
It's just a picture of a hill. You're going to tell me that that's a demonstration of Earth curve?
What's a demonstration of Earth curve?
The picture of a
Earth
hill.
curve.
I've said every single picture ever is a demonstration of Earth being a plane. None of them will ever demonstrate Earth curvature, ever. Now I've got a picture of a hill on screen. I'm not going to get to finish my description. I'm not going to get to finish it, am I? I'm just going to get talked through. I'm in the middle of a sentence. Yeah, now I've got a picture of a hill on screen, and I'm asking you where the demonstrable Earth curve is.
Right, well, I can't see your screen, Nathan. I'm on
Just a
Discord.
picture of a hill. Doesn't matter what hill. Could be anything. It's just a hill. Who cares? It's not demonstrating Earth curve. The only demonstration of Earth curve is utilising, as stated. Oh, he's going to talk again. He's going to talk again. Yet the only demonstrations of Earth curve in photographs utilise an R value that's presupposed and a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve count. And he's talking through me again. What's your problem? What's your problem? I'm in the middle of a sentence. What's your problem? I'm in the middle of a sentence, Highlander. Whoever's talking from G+, same applies. I'd like to finish my sentence. Any picture ever taken that is claimed to have demonstrable Earth curvature in it will utilise an R value that's presupposed, so therefore a begging the question fallacy to begin with, by way of a perspective hijacking, because it uses actual sizes that do not change with distance, Earth curve, again begging the question, calculator. So it's not going to ever be the case that perspective hijacking will be considered Earth curve. Therefore, no pictures ever demonstrating Earth curve. All pictures are of the demonstrably flat plane we all observe.
So all pictures from Himawari 8 are taking pictures of a flat Earth, is it?
Himawari is a satellite in a fake medium.
Yeah.
All pictures from that fake medium are fake. Same as pictures claimed to be taken from Narnia. So your Himawari in a sky vacuum's not going to... And he's talking again! I'm rebutting his claim! Fundy! Oi! Fundy Globehead Religitard! I'm rebutting your claim! You said Himawari, I'm in the middle of ripping that a new asshole, and you're talking through me. Yeah? Anybody in the audience or comment section want to moan? Maybe someone wants to moan about the mute button. That absolutely is necessary. He's just claimed Himawari. I'm mid-sentence! Shut up! I'm in the middle of taking a dump on your claim of Himawari photographs. Now, what is your malfunction? Highlander, I've got to remove you. I have to remove you, Highlander. It's last opportunity, mate. Do I have to remove you because you can't control yourself when someone absolutely takes a dump on your last crap claim that you made, in this case Himawari, that I'm still trying to rebut, but you will not let me?
Well, you said people don't get muted on the after show, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm getting muted by you! Are you that dumb? I'm being muted by you! I'm trying to rebut your claim about Himawari. You won't let me! You keep talking! You're muting me! Do you not get it, you dumb fuck?
You need to take a dump.
Yeah, you won't fucking let me. You keep talking. I am still yet to respond to your claim about Himawari, and you're continually muting me.
That's because you tell me you want to take a dump.
Yeah, on your claim. Are you going to shut up?
I'll wait for you.
No, you're going to shut up now, on demand, or I'm going to kick you out. Last chance. One word while I talk and you go. Himawari. That's it, you can fuck right off. Don't expect to ever come back. I'll have you removed from the server, you're never coming back, Highlander. Yeah? All those assholes, right, that say Nathan mutes me, it's just projection. I come to rebut a claim he's made about photos from the Himawari, the exact same rumpusing that happened to QE only 20 minutes ago. No, that claim comes from a fake place. Space. Somewhere that violates natural law. Now, unless you can prove that we have this second law of thermodynamics, sky vacuum, where the Himawari is claimed to be, this claim is bunk.
Now, you can be damn sure unless I actually physically shut him up in the Discord server, I will not get to make that rebuttal. I will be continually silenced by them while they continually tell me that I mute them. No, we just don't get chance to rebut them if they're here making a claim. They want to spew their rhetoric and hear no rebuttal to it. That's all Rumpus has trained them to do. Make your claim and then physically stop them from being heard. Talk non-stop, and if you take action to stop that happening, cry foul that you're being muted. Oh, they're stopping me from rumpusing the living shit out of the rebuttal. They're stopping me from allowing them to dispute their claim. That's what they do. It's a bloody outrage. I'm sick of it. All Highlander has done. I didn't mute him once. I muted him at the end. He's still flashing now like a complete retard. Yeah? He still wants to talk over me. So even when I physically shut him up, right, he still talks because that's their tactic. But when I'm not shutting him up, I'm not muting him, he's talking to me about me muting him through my rebuttal.
Yeah. And if I make I'm pretty sure that everything coming from the Himawari, right?
Hey, Arwen, you're roboting.
Drop and rejoin, Arwen, you're roboting.
Me?
Yeah, just drop and rejoin, you're roboting.
Okay.
Nice summary, Nathan. That's exactly what they do. And they think they have a case. They're retards.
At some point, I have to stop the complete shit show that Rumpus brings with him, which is he will talk 90 to 95% of the time, and no rebuttal will be heard if that's the case. Now, I have to take control of my own show at some point and say no more. I can't have 3 people talking constantly. 2 because they're triggered that Rumpus won't shut up, and me trying to respond to him. That's just can't be tolerated. I have to take charge of that eventually, like I've just done with Highlander. Eventually, I've got to put him on mute because he literally will not shut up because he knows his claim's going to get smashed. But while that's happening, and I'm pointing out that he can't shut up, he simultaneously puts an accusation into the fray that I'm muting him.
Yep. It's the new default.
You don't have to explain it, Nathan. Anyone that can fog a mirror knows the score, knows the game that's being played. It's Elmer Fudd sophistry. That's it. It's a joke. All of it's a joke. They're retards. Demonstrated. Thanks.
Am I coming through loud and clear now?
Much better.
Right. Okay, so to get back to my point about the Himawari satellite, supposedly, right? Everything that comes from that thing is images. So if anyone could point me at a single officially presented photograph taken by the Himawari, that would be interesting.
The Himawari was broken down into like how they make it, and I believe they use Google Earth as a template.
Oh.
And they just overlay graphics.
So it's impossible then?
Yeah,
to get oh, how sad. That's not very reliable proof.
Yeah, you're halfway down a begging the question fallacy. They can't take them anyway because the vacuum of space doesn't exist, right? And no, they superimpose them on that stupid blue marble, not Google.
I just always like to emphasize the images part because it is really like the signature of what they do, because they know they can't lie really about it apparently, so they have to call it images, and that is the sign. That is how you know it's an image. It's not a photograph. Okay, so it's been worked on.
They
You
could
know
say
because they're calling it an image.
they could say photograph, image, whatever they want to say. You have to violate the second law of thermodynamics to even say it. So it's not real no matter what they say.
They can say an image. They can say that because that's a, crayon drawing is an image.
Yeah, they can.
No, but it's the context in which they're saying the image. They're
No, I
saying
get
you
it.
got
Yeah.
this-
But if
They're
it's
showing
a
an image of
photograph,
Superman.
if it's a photograph,
Superman's a
then
concept,
the point is that if it's a photograph, then it's as is. It's raw. it could be considered as data, whatever the photograph is of. But they don't call it photographs. They never call it photographs. They call it images, and then they may make it look very much like believable photographs to
What
the
if they
viewer.
called
But
it a photograph?
but it's
Then
not
what?
photographs, even if
Well,
it may
what if they
consist
call?
of photographs. So it's just never as is. And that's the point of looking every time you see those pictures presented in any article. Are they a photograph or are they an image?
What
Very
if they
important
start?
thing to look out for.
Arwen, just tell me when you're done. You take these long pauses.
I'm done.
I
I'm
think you're
done.
done.
Sorry.
and you keep
sorry.
talking.
Oh, sorry.
Goodness. Wrap it up.
I did. I just did. It's just.
They're
I thought
still
it was a good
going.
point to make.
Thank you for wrapping it up after you wrapped it up.
Or
Thank you.
just you're triggering tough man.
You kind of are.
All right.
I'm on
Call
mood.
it. Gosh. Whether they call it pixie dust, photograph, it doesn't matter. You're violating the second law of thermodynamics. There's no reason to even discuss it. You just bring it back to how in the world are you telling me you could violate a natural law and take this picture from the medium that doesn't exist? Well, it's a photograph. Yeah, but you can't go there to take it. So what? I don't care what you call it.
One is a lie, one
not-
is not.
but
You
they're
can
not
show an
claiming.
image of Superman. Superman's a concept. You can show an image. You're not lying. If you say this is a photograph of Superman, that's a lie because it doesn't exist. It's a concept.
You're back to taking my argument away from the context in which they're saying the image was gotten from, which was where?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fake
but-
space. He gets it. He
So
did
I don't
say
care
that.
from the
if
other
you show
side.
me an image of
Hold on,
Superman as long as it was made here under.
You're right, 10th man, and I'll reiterate it just so your point's clear. Your point is that you don't need to argue about whether or not it's an image or a photograph because it's been taken in a fake region, i.e. outer space. Outer space is fake, the sky is not a vacuum, therefore we don't need to argue about it. But there's a slight segue off the back of what Jibby's saying that I want to focus on, which is to say that, yes, if you're Joe Blogg's guy who's working for NASA, I'm going to assume he's just a good guy, he's not inherently evil or lying. Now, when he produces his image, he knows what he's doing. He's producing an image on behalf of NASA, and he's very proud of it. Now, he's not just going to overtly lie and say it's a photograph. Now, he's been given source material to produce the image, and like the guy who said it's Photoshop because it has to be, he's just being honest. The guy's not trying to deceive. That's just part of the compartmentalization that NASA has installed so that people will do their work, put it out so that the general idea is that it's real, even though it'll say in the bottom right hand corner of a NASA video, images by NASA. Well, those aren't necessarily overt in terms of their claim that they're real when they're not, because in fact the opposite is true. They make it clear the heliocentric system's a model, and they make it clear that all the images are images. They don't have any photographs. Because who's going to overtly lie about it? Well, the astronauts, they claim to go to a sky vacuum. But other than that, beyond that small circle, who's overtly lying? I don't think the image makers. Who's the guy who said it's Photoshop because it has to be? That guy's not a liar.
Can I add something?
They are technically safe, although they must have at least some feeling that that there's something wrong to what they're doing. They have been, they how do you call that? What's the saying? They covered their tracks, or they legally. Where's Tony when you need him?
No, people have got
exactly, Arwen. That's what I wanted.
Rob Simmons.
If you're brainwashed, Rob Simmons, that's it. Thank you, Chocolate. If you're brainwashed and you just like the people who come here and debate, when they formulate their presupposition, or they're begging the question fallacy, they say, well, yeah, that's allowed because it is just a sphere. Now, the same applied to Wakey Wakey's interview. When she had any inconsistencies with the model, she said, oh, well, the model just needs changing. It's like, well, you don't appreciate that that's a reified version of what you think is the world. What, you're just going to change a little piece of something on the model, and that'll all be good again, will it? It's like, they don't appreciate that that's a massive issue, because in their world, that's fine. Well, it's still a sphere Earth, we just haven't quite modelled it out correctly. So therefore the presupposition stands without there being any malice of forethought whatsoever by probably 99.9% of the people involved in the perpetration of the deception, including Dr. Danny Faulkner, probably Neil deGrasse Tyson, probably all of them beyond people who are directly connected with the overt lie, like going to space when they're filming on a soundstage, like claiming they're on a tin can in orbit when they're actually on high wires. Those are the overt liars. You know, the Tim Peaks. Those people are overtly lying. But is Danny Faulkner? No, in his mind, it's already a done deal, Earth's sphere, so there's no inconsistency logically when he just takes that presupposition as read. And that's true for most people. That's why a couple of days ago I was like, well, what are we trying to achieve when we try and hold people accountable for the lie? Most of them aren't actually lying. Believe it or not. Yeah, they're perpetrating a deception, but they don't realise it. They haven't got malice in their forethought when they tell you, oh yeah, well of course it's Photoshop, it has to be. They're just being honest.
Yes, well said, Nathan, well said.
It's a presupposition.
Yeah, but it's a system, and it's also handed and even somewhat explained to them. It's like, this is what you have to do. You have to be very careful because there are outsiders. We have to do it right. And then everybody just starts to follow that system and keeps on going. It seems to work for them, even though they are going with delusion.
I have one question. When so-called astronauts, they go into the ISS and, they take their cameras with them. Like, do they claim that they take pictures, or they're as well going with images?
Rzeczywiście jest kulą zawieszoną w kosmosie?
Jest płaska. Tak jak oczekują. Nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
Generał Mirosław Hermaszewski, jak dotąd pierwszy i ostatni Polak, który odbył.
Astronaut saying it's flat.
Oh.
That's what that was. Yeah. He says, I assure you it's flat. Yeah.
I thought we were being overrun
by Russian bots.
It's the invasion.
Russian collusion.
But I just found that very useful. The reason I played that clip is because it makes my point, which is to say that 2 weeks ago, that guy would have potentially been, pitchforks and fire torches with, he's a liar, he's telling us space is real, he's part of the heliocentric deception. He comes out and says, yeah, it's flat. I should know. And suddenly everyone's got their arm around him getting pictures taken. It's because if you met him, I'm sure he's a really nice bloke. But the fact that he's been caught up in a perpetration of a deception, probably, more likely than not, totally unwittingly, means that these people aren't worthy of scorn. Most of us, if not all of us, were in exactly that position 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on who you are, years ago. Well, we weren't lying to our kids when we told them that, the moon was a physical rock in orbit around Earth, but we were definitely perpetrating that lie, weren't we? The deception was coming out of our own lips. Does that mean we need to be taken to the post and tied to it and burnt? No.
I just want to point out one more time that guys, this isn't a cosmonaut / astronaut, and he's saying it's flat.
Yeah,
that doesn't ring any bells for you guys out there.
That's amazing.
This happened 2 days ago, guys.
Wow.
What's going on?
Really?
3 days ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know this?
Holy shit, no, I didn't.
Happened just before the conference started. Literally
Wow.
a day or two before the conference started, and then he showed up at the conference, and there's pictures of people with their arm around him, validating his story and his version.
Oh,
of
he went to the conference too.
Yeah,
He was at the conference, guys.
Oh, that's the conference video.
What is this? What did I miss?
Let's just summarize it. So this guy comes out on Russian TV, and it seems from the interview like he's caught slightly off guard when he's asked about the nature of reality that we're on in that context. And he kind of gulps and goes, okay, I wasn't expecting that question, but I guess I'm an expert. Earth's flat. And then the guy kind of paraphrases the question again, I believe, and then he says, yeah, it's flat. I know.
Whoa.
And
I
then
assure you,
hold
it's
on,
flat.
I'm not there.
Whoa.
Hold on. Oh, God. You wanted to know what was happening, and I've got, I haven't finished. So he then toddles along to the conference while people are there going, is this real? Is this cosmonaut actually declaring Earth is flat? And then he turns up at the conference to have people put their arms around him, get his version of events clarified. That's absolutely what he meant. And like I say, have their pictures taken with him.
Are we talking about the international conference?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah, bro, the one that was just happened over the weekend.
Where?
Apparently.
Where?
I mean, unless I've misinterpreted a photo that looked very much like the inside hallway of that conference with a plant pot behind two flat earthers and their arm around that exact same dude. I could have misinterpreted that picture. That's a possibility.
Because I've read the description for that picture and it said a guy from Flat Earth Polish in Poland.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the link.
A guy, it said what?
It's in Poland, I think, because it said that the guy that took the picture was one of the guys that run the Flat Earth Polish Facebook group.
So it's not at the Flat Earth Conference?
I don't think so.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Somebody get the photo. Post it here.
What? Find out where. It could be me drawing a false comparison because the conference was on at the same time and that's where lots of photos were, so it could be my misinterpretation, as I just said. Nevertheless, it's been confirmed that dude is there with people with their arm around him confirming his story who are flat earthers, regardless of where it took place. I could be wrong about the conference location.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with my point. My point is this guy was supposed to be one of the people that have been to the second law of thermodynamics violation.
Yeah.
And says it's flat. So, yeah.
Did somebody ask him about that, by the way?
Well, that was something the validation boy brought up. So shortly after everyone was putting their arms around him, he kind of put it out there. Look, it's great. This guy's saying it's flat. However, he's also claiming to have been to a sky vacuum. So where are you going to stand with this guy while you've got your arms around him while he's still maintaining that he's been to a sky vacuum?
Exactly.
It's in the name, Nathan. Cosmonaut.
But did anyone ask him at any time about second law of thermodynamics? Did he say, it could have been that, I can imagine it said like, yeah, I have to officially say that I did that or something like that.
Share my screen.
All right.
There you go. That's the picture I saw. I've incorrectly assumed that's at the. Now it's nice and big, and I can see that it's got clearly not English writing on that azimuth and equidistant projection poster. I'd have probably guessed better if I hadn't seen a small picture, but you know. There you go. Yeah, there he is. He's at a conference of some description. Or not a conference. Maybe not. Who knows?
Wait, is that a flat Earth Russian convention?
No, it's in Poland, Europe.
Poland, right.
Yeah, he's a Polish cosmonaut.
Oh, I've been calling him Russian. I've got most of this story wrong. It's terrible. The point is the same. It doesn't matter. Look, hold on. Let me just get that clear. Those details about the story are irrelevant to the point. In case I get it in the neck in the comments, which I probably will. Deservedly so.
Just blame it on perspective.
That's all right. They're just mad because he said it's flat. They don't care about the rest of it. He said it's flat, and he was supposed to be one of those guys that's been up there. So that's going to be their problem. So they could have that.
Did he just go up and come down, or did he go to the soda can fort in the sky?
Yeah, but that's a bit like punting the Flat Earth Society narrative. That Earth is a flying disc because now you're left with space. He was in space, but they said the Earth is flat.
Exactly.
See, no, wait.
Hold on, Chocolate.
Nobody's getting me twisted. I'm not saying that he literally said that. I'm saying this is implied because he's a cosmonaut or astronaut. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I didn't hear a 20-minute interview with him saying he's been to space. All I'm saying is the implication is there because he's a cosmonaut.
Right.
Okay.
I'm reading his record right now, and he's been.
Hold on. I wanted before you get me back.
Somebody get in contact with him over there. The one, get in contact with him. Bring a translator. We need to have him on the show.
All right. My ex boss from when I worked in Leicester in the UK is Polish, so I'll contact him.
Yeah. See if
Anyway.
you can get him on the show. We
Right.
need to have a discussion with him.
So
All
QE and the one have both backed my little bit, which is to say, like Validation Boy, who's the originator of this point, if he's still of the assertion that he's been to a second law of thermodynamics violation, then he's not on our side. And the juxtaposition just made by the one was one I was about to come on to. The perfect, exactly what I was going to say, the one. So if you look at the controlled opposition narrative of this subject, that's the Flat Earth Society, they have a rhetoric that includes space. Space is something very near and dear to they, whoever the hell they are. So that would be something that I'd want to get ironed out pretty sharpish. You know, are you a high altitude pilot, or are you actually still maintaining that you've been to a sky vacuum?
Exactly. High altitude.
Well, according to his record, he's been officially 8 days on board the Salyut 6 space station around 1978.
What's
That's
the
what
elevation?
I have no idea. I didn't even know there was a Salyut 6 space station.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
78. No
Look it
idea. Anyway, that's what his wiki says. So that's the official record.
Not looking good though, eh? Space station. I'm pretty sure where that's going.
Well, maybe high orbit, Earth orbit station or whatever.
Orbit's the same thing. As soon as you say orbit, you've got a presupposition that you're falling around a sphere in the sky vacuum. So orbit is just as bad.
Oh, and just to add to that, during their time in orbit, they carried out various geoscience experiments and photographed the Earth.
Photographed or imaged?
It said photo in the bio, so that's what it says.
They said photographed the Earth. They didn't say that you actually got to see that literal photograph as is. Just say they photographed it.
What's her orbit?
Either way, guy needs to be vetted out to see if he's speaking the truth, and if he's not, what angle is being played on the people who know there's no outer space.
Exactly. And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the G+. All of you who joined us on the Flat Earth Debate panel on G+ or Discord for making this after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!